Hey, this is BA. Let's get this one rocking and rolling. This is from Luther Jensen's book, Astro Cycles and Speculative Markets, which I imagine you could probably find free on the internet. This is directly out of it. It's a copy and paste, so it's pretty much word for word there. The circle then has four quadrants of 90 degrees each. Note that the angle defines the number of degrees. If a radius of a circle is bent on the circumference of the same circle, the subsequent arc marks an angle termed a radian. In our market charting, we view these degrees as angles of amplitude of trends of prices in the distance of velocity in time and price. Thus, there is the velocity of either an advance or a decline in prices defined in degrees. And in addition, there is a harmonic relationship in the angle of velocity to the waves of prices. A rise which adheres to a trend channel of approximately 15 degrees reveals price resistances. At 15, half of that's 7.5, half of that is 3 3/4. To illustrate, a stock in a 15-degree uptrend has an upside breakout at 35. Major resistance will be at 35 plus 15. And lesser resistance at 35 plus 3 3/4 and 35 plus 7.5, which are divisions of the 15. As long as a 15-degree uptrend channel remains intact, okay, and that's key. Now, what will change that is time. What arrests that up move, this is an up move, what arrests that will be time. Okay, so when he says as long as it remains intact, well, we would have to know, when is this thing gonna expire? Well, that comes from time. Okay. Another stock is priced at 20. That means it's selling currently at 20 as an example, where a series of minor highs have occurred, and it leaps out of this established resistance at an apparent 45-degree uptrend angle. Probable resistance to the new advance will appear at 20 plus 45, plus half of 45 is 22.5, half of that is 11.25, and half of that is 5 5/8. Okay, so those are natural divisions there. This works out as 20 plus 5 5/8, or 25 5/8, meaning you have to add those divisions of 45 to the base price of 20. Okay, and those will give you, he's saying this will give you your resistance levels. Okay, the velocity of prices changes forms. Yes, and that's tricky Jensen language. Listen to that again. The velocity of prices changes forms. One insight to the power of the momentum which eventuates probable exhaustion. A directed magnitude of this velocity then can be estimated by vectors. A major vector has within it a series of smaller vectors, which often differ in magnitude and direction. Blah blah blah. Number of trends. In charting, the application used are polar coordinates. When a vector is defined by a magnitude and angle, or vectorial angle, in this usage, the 90-degree harmonics applied to the angle of the price trend with its time factor of days to reach exhaustion, and 60-degree harmonics apply to price resistance. Okay. Tentative price objectives, which form subsequent resistance areas, are often revealed in advance by imposing triangles of varying vectorial values. An example is to project one angle in the low close day in prices and lesser angle in the first preceding low close day. The crossing will estimate exhaustion in time and price. To illustrate, the Dow Jones Industrials have an average velocity of 45 degrees, or 1/2 of pi2 radians. The associated price resistance factor then is 60. Okay. Now we have to stop there, because we'd have to say, where does that 60 come from? You know how, you know where, think about it. Below are tracings of a daily chart. Now what I'm going to do, because he's going to go through this, we're going to go through two ways of doing this. We're going to go through the way that some people do it, and then we're going to go through a way that other people do it. so that you can see the difference in the contrast in both. Okay. Below are the tracings of a daily chart of the Dow Jones Industrials from March through June 1960. In chart A, the day of the highest close is at B. The highest preceding low close day is at A. As soon as the setback from B brought a close below the previous low close day, X, a tentative projection was entered. 45-degree angle was entered at A, and a 60-degree angle projected from B. The convergence at C indicated a potential base between 600 and 605 the first week in May. Where's the chart? Right here. Okay, now let's do this like some people do. Let's stare at it. Okay, everybody together now. 1, 2, 3, stare. Ah! Stare harder. Ah! I didn't get anything out of that. I didn't learn anything. Nothing. Okay. Ginseng must be a scam. Ginseng must not work. Okay. Now stop. Stop there. See, we've got some problems here. We've got this down here. We've got this up here. And we need some exactness here. I mean, what date is this really? I can't even tell down here. I don't know what's going on down here. And I don't know what's going on here because we jumped the 5th to the 12th. What day is this actually up here? I need exact measurements, okay? The people that have succeeded and the people that are currently at this time juncture succeeding do it this way. And here's the difference. Here's the method of success right here. This is that move. The low, I would say, is here. It's very clear. And the high is up here. I need my price and I need dates because neither was clear in his chart. I got a date of May 2, 1960 at a price low of 596.6. I've got a high here on June 9th, 1960, which would be Robert Gordon's birthday, at a high price of 663.64. I need those. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to analyze it to get out of this what Jensen is saying. Here I've entered our price units, which would be A here. Here I've entered our time units. Those would be days here, calendar days here. Okay. This gives us our vector of 77. Here's our 60-degree angle Jensen was talking about, and we know where that comes from. Okay? That's the difference. You have to take this stuff and you have to break it down and focus in on it. That's the method, the road that always leads to success.